Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. Richie here. We're talking about my favorite thing in the entire world, goddamn cryptocurrency. That's right. My camera is not working today. I need to restart my browser, I think, or my whole computer to get it going. And I just can't be bothered. So no video today, but we are waiting to go into X to do our usual weekly spaces on X, but I'll be live streaming that as well. So you can find me right now on YouTube, on X under Crypto Mischief, on X under Sui Trump Coin, on X under SuiDex HQ. Also, we're on Kick for some reason. The important thing to talk about today, of course, is that the market is melting down as predicted. And yeah, I'm not happy about that, but there's always upside or downside, there's money to be made in crypto. To be honest, I've been hearing a lot recently about people saying that this has been the worst bull run ever. And I have said that before as well, actually. I have been known to say that. But, we did have the opportunity to get Solana at $25, and we did have the opportunity to get Bitcoin at $15,000. So the opportunities were there, but they were 3 years ago. And the great thing, the thing that gives me, a little bit of hope for the future in crypto, among all this mess, is that we are very close to getting that opportunity again. I think especially for Sui, I'm trading Sui right now in Bluefin badly. And the thing about Sui is if we zoom out, right, a lot more, you can see that I was talking about this last week, right? Like Sui has been, the charts disappeared. Fantastic. Sui's been essentially in a bear market for a long time. That can't be the that's the entire history of Sui on Bluefin, actually, right? We can look at that actually, right? So since Bluefin launched, that would be from this would be their pro version. Since July 2025, Sui has continued to decline. We've been in a bear market this whole time. Essentially, will we go lower in the Bitcoin bear market? If it is a Bitcoin bear market, which I think it is, then yeah, of course. My prediction for the price of Sui in the bear market is 60 cents. Now, I say this because I have PTSD from holding Phantom token all the way from $3 down to 15 cents. I thought the floor was going to be 25 cents. And a year and a half in, we went all the way. $3 all the way down to 25 cents. So do not underestimate how fucking wrecked you could get in a bear market if you don't have the right plan for essentially taking profit on your way through the bull run, and then also managing to either scale in as the price goes down or scale out as the price goes down, depending on your risk tolerance, right? The whole aim is, I'm talking about Sui right now because I still believe in Sui as a future banger of a project in DeFi, right? It has so much going for it, and compared to other chains. Even who was it? Vitalik came out this week saying that he thinks that Ethereum and Bitcoin are not quantum proof and they'll be hacked in 2 years. Sui is not able to be hacked because of the way it's built. It cannot be it can be, everything can be hacked, but it can't be hacked with quantum the same way that Bitcoin and ETH can. So it has lots of different unique aspects about Sui that make it completely different to any other blockchain, which is why I do support it so greatly. But definitely not the best days. So hey, yeah, this looks like the drip chart. Way too much NFO. Yeah, it does actually. It looks like drip. It looks like anything right now, to be honest. It's going down, down, down. No, drip was, to be honest, the golden age of DeFi, where things were simple, and this is what I want to actually talk to the guys about in the X spaces whenever it starts. I don't know when it's starting though. I'm waiting on Mr. Furley. He does this sometimes. He schedules and then he's late to the party. So we're just waiting for him to start his spaces. Is it already started? No. But if not, then you can DM me and then I can bring you on stage here and people can talk in this space as well. Yeah, but what I was talking about was the golden age of DeFi, 2020, 2021, 2022. To be honest, that's when DeFi was easy, right? There was no V3. concentrated liquidity pools. There was barely any leveraged perpetual dexes. There was simply 50-50 asset yield farming. There were a plethora of high risk, high return Ponzi style gaming and deposit dApps, which, although did wreck a lot of people, did also make a lot of people a lot of money. And the simplicity was king, really. The fact is that, as we're going through DeFi and maturing, I guess, the usability of DeFi is coming into question, in terms of a marketing sense, right? What I mean by that, so I mean that, like, if you want to sell something to someone, you need to understand the want and the need of that customer, right? The customer being us, the consumer of DeFi, right? We are the consumer. What are our wants and our needs? Do we want and need complicated liquidity protocols with DLMM, CLMM, concentrated yield, having to sit in the right pocket to get our yield? Like, let me show you this, right? So, I've been experimenting this week with yield, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, I need to figure out some safe ways to save yield and basically save my asset, conserve the power of my asset. So I thought, well, I'll spread it across different protocols and I'll see which one does best, right? So here I am in the VFAT tools, right? And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pair up USDC and USDT in concentrated pools, and then it's going to sit in a range and I'm going to earn dollars, right? So basically it said before I was going to get an APR of roughly 5%, right? 5% APR. And that's by sitting in a range. So for example, here I have 10K in this one, right? So what's supposed to be happening here is I put in a range. I looked over a past history of the price of USDC to USDT. And essentially what you need to do is you need to be in a range of about 0.03% difference for each one, right? So if we come to this, we can see, how do I get back to my other ones? Man, I hate this UI. Search all three assets. Oh, here I made it big and small. Okay, too many numbers. Right. So yeah, I'm in 0.0. Here, right? So my experiment was here, like, what kind of APRs can I squeeze out of these three positions? Thinking that, USDC and USDT won't be that wild going from left to right, because then otherwise I'd have to have an extremely wide position and then, to earn on this, because this is an essential of DeFi, right? The promise that we were told and the promise that we had in 2021, 2022 that doesn't exist anymore is that I could take two stable coins, put them into a yield farm, and I can get myself a better APR or APY than I could have got in, for example, a bank with my fiat, right? But unfortunately, at the moment on base chain with your stablecoins, you cannot match the APR that a bank can give you on your dollars. Shocking, right? Absolutely shocking. And the problem, of course, is that if I want to, say, so I need to rebalance this, right? I've been going back and forth with this, right? So I balance it, I take the suggested balance, or I tweak it, right? You go, okay, I'm going to go out a little bit more. I'm going to be safer, right? I'm going to go wider. So here we're 0.04, 0.05, right? It says I'm going to get APR of 4.6% there, but when we go live, the APR is like 0.2 or 1%, right? Depends on volume. It depends on what's going on. It depends on so many things. It's not a fixed amount. You need to continually watch this every single day. I'm having to come in here. It was in range for half of yesterday, and then it went out of range. It said I was going to be getting about $5 a day out of $13,000. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm getting, as you can see today, zero, right? Or $1 a day, right? So that was one option. Then I thought, okay, well, we'll take some other options for this. Okay, how about Aave, right? Aave's a 2020, 2021 lending protocol. I can take my USDC. So I put my USDC in here. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get myself 4% APY, right? So that's compounded yield. So $3,000 in here with APY, and I'm getting myself, so I put in $3,000 yesterday, and now I've made myself 28 cents. So that means I can make 28 cents daily by putting $3,000 into Aave. Not really worth my time. I think I could probably do the same by taking the $3,000 and putting it in a bank in some savings deposit, right? and then I don't have the risk of USDC possibly depegging in the bottom of the bear market, right? I thought, okay, well, okay, we'll try to find some others. We'll go to Sui. So I went over to Sui, and I'm trying out this one. So this is Navi, where I could take my USDC in. We can get 7.9% in here, which is not bad. It's getting there, right? We're looking for about 30 really for DeFi to be, worth it to use your stable coins only as a reserve asset, right? So all these yields are so low. It's not, how is that efficient? So it's okay. Everything is more complex and harder for the consumer to get involved in, right? Because remember what I was saying, right? DeFi is accepting DeFi and marketing for DeFi should be marketing towards the wants and the needs of the consumer. The wants and the needs of a consumer who wants to get into crypto is that they think that they can make themselves some pretty solid gains on assets better than they can make in traditional finance or they can make in their bank. And unfortunately, we've lost our way with DeFi. And I think that is one of the underlying reasons for the bear market, moreover than the 4-year cycle. I think it's the fact that where we are currently with DeFi isn't matching what the consumer wants or needs. So that means that protocols are being designed and rolled out without the aim of attracting new retail investors in. That's my kind of thoughts on it. So what I'm gonna think about this week. Furley here yet? No. No Furley. Wonder where he is. Classic Furley. You sent me a message like just before. I'm live, Mr. Furley. So we'll look at some charts and we'll check out what's going on. Just sending a message. I've been sick this week. Caught some allergy, but recovered, which is good. If you are, if you're listening live, then of course let me know your thoughts on what I just said in the comments, and I will, of course, answer your questions about that. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I don't think that. I think DeFi has to pivot from the direction we're going in, and that's not even talking about what's happened, with Bitcoin getting institutionally invested in, and we thought bringing in the ETFs and these Bitcoin companies like MicroStrategy buying up endless amounts of Bitcoin. We thought that was going to be extremely bullish for what we were planning, and it's kind of not really. Not really. Hasn't done it. Strangely, like Bitcoin's moving slower. I think we can all agree on that, right? It's moving down quite fast at the moment. But in terms of like its parabolic upward moves that we generally have seen in the past with Bitcoin, it's just the green candles are just not as mighty as they have been in the past. How do I delete this comment? I'm on Kick as well, by the way. I have a comment down there. It says I'm on Kick. Can't delete his comment though. Hide. There we go. I can't show that. Anyway. Right. I was hoping for a good chat with the guys on X. Apparently no. Tardy to the party. Or maybe he's down here. Oh, there he is. He's hosting. Oh, he's been here the whole time.
It was really like a private liquidity raise, not like a pre-sale. Because then, that was gone in 13 minutes.
Let me fix my computer. Ba-ba-ba. He was already there. All right, we found it. Good. Oh. Grayscale is the world's largest digital asset focused investment platform. Basically ETFs. They launched a XRP ETF. I think they probably have a Solana one as well. Uh, yeah, they have a Solana one as well. So it's where all these DeFi ETFs are being launched just as everything's tumbling to the downside. Great timing, Grayscale. Good job. Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah. Is it? You might get better. Yeah. So I couldn't find the stream actually. I was looking for a while to find about it. It wasn't popping up on X. Finally, I found it, but I had to scroll down through like the suggested uh, spaces. So that might be why no one's in here. Also, in your profile, it didn't say the stream had started or anything. So we should probably send out some messages. But yeah, I was just I was just going on a rant about DeFi before I found your stream. Give me your take on this. So I was explaining that DeFi used to be perfectly designed to attract the consumer. It was simple to use in a way. It's still quite complex, but once you got it, it was quite simple. It could offer you better yield than a bank, and it was exciting, cutting edge. You know, it was really something that people thought was going to be the next level of financial freedom, and it broke you away from the banks. But come to 2025, and DeFi is more complicated than ever before. It cannot offer you even higher APR on your stable coins than a bank can offer to your fiat. And the narrative at the moment is that actually AI can is the next leap of financial freedom, and DeFi is not. What do you think on that? In a Yeah. Yeah. It didn't exist. Yeah. We're the only V2 decks, I believe, on Sui. Aftermath is similar, but I think they handle it in a different way. But they don't have a yield farm system attached to Aftermath that I know of. They're working cleanly on trading fees. But I mean, the whole idea for V3 was that it was supposed to capture capital efficiency, right? It was supposed to be a more efficient way to farm your yield, and earning from the trading fees of the decks as opposed to earning from a reward token was the whole ethos for it. So that actually you're going to end up making more money because it's real yield is what they call it, as opposed to Ponzi-nomic yield, which in a way Suidex is a little bit because we're rewarding liquidity with a token. Um, and that does have an aspect of Ponzi-nomics to it, but it's what doesn't, right? Um, in DeFi, that's the fun of it. No, they don't. Yeah. Well, he didn't buy it, so screw that guy. I'm uh, I'm having audio issues on YouTube. I might have to shut because actually I couldn't get my camera working, and now I can't get the stream audio working on the computer. Not sure why.
Focused, and we're shouting from the rooftops about ZK logins and MPC 3000 XYZs and all this kind of techno jargon stuff that I think to the layman it's a little hard to wrap your mind around. And I think that it's great to be builder focused, but then you also just need like mass adoption of normies as well. And I think we can do a little bit better job of that. And I think SweetX helps doing that by making things streamlined, straightforward, for people that want to come in and experience yield farms and stuff like that. And then just having some good solid projects that you don't have to set ranges on or know every little intricacy of crypto when you want to come in and get your feet wet.
Yeah, man. I saw your tweet that said like too many eggheads, not enough gym bros, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it boils down to. So I kind of want to position myself in the niche of just being a good, I want to be technologically forward for sure. But then for me, I have an issue when sometimes I feel like people use big words and hyper linguistics and try and make things sound confusing on purpose just to seem special or elitist. But then you boil it all down and you're like, okay, a liquid NFT is basically just an LP pool for NFTs. I just don't like when we try and overcomplicate things just to mystify people and make it seem more complex than it needs to. And I feel like sometimes that happens because it's a way to hype things for sure. If it sounds like Star Trek technology and it's just these big convoluted ideas, but I like to see products that work and that are easily understandable by people. That's just me.
Yep, I agree. So yeah, because I haven't actually gone into liquid NFTs. I saw that Boombots, who I'm still holding Boombots all the way, have just launched their liquid NFTs, but I'm not really sure, what they are. Because it says I had to liquefy my NFT. Can I, once I liquefy it, do I get it back, or is it gone forever?
So that means that you can get it back, but if somebody puts up the amount of money that it's worth, they can then basically take it from you. It's like you own it as long as no one else buys it while it's liquid, from what I understood, because I've heard Paste explain it a few times.
Oh,
And
okay.
it is optional, so it's not something you have to do. It's just if you want to get like liquidity, it's almost kind of, to me it seems like kind of like a loan, like you're pawning your NFT for liquid asset.
The way I understand it too is by rarity. So if you got a super rare one and you put it into the liquid or the LP, I think you get a cut of all the trading volume, just like a regular LP pool. And if you have the super kitty cat with the crown and a golden eyeball, then you get more of a cut of the liquidity pool. So I think it's a way of creating liquidity pools for NFTs and giving value to the more rare NFTs within collections and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the missing part of the puzzle that you reminded me of, is that it actually takes into account the rarity of the NFTs, because as far like before, they just see it as they're all the same thing. They weren't I mean, the rarity would show up in the cost of the resale, but in this case you can actually get liquid assets immediately without having to sell it based on its rarity. So, you can take advantage of your rare NFTs and get some liquid assets from it
I see.
temporarily.
So it's kind of what I mean, though. That's confusing as fuck, right?
Yeah, it's Paste and the Boombots
Well, it's the first.
developer that I don't understand it either. It's not even something that I'd
first,
rather just hold on to them.
The first one was Mystic Yetis, right? They liquefied their NFTs, because I'm looking at them. So Mystic Yetis, market cap of their liquid NFTs is $127,000, and 24-hour volume is $20. So that's for Lofi's official NFT collection, which they liquefied.
Yeah, that seems like low volume, and
yeah,
it doesn't seem like you're going to make a lot of trading volume if there's only $20 in trading volume.
Total rewards have been 42 Sui for their liquid NFT holders, for 505,000 NFTs and 42 Sui to split between these people. So it's like
in total, that's their total, like not for the day. That's like 40 Sui for their.
I'm trying to see, but like
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But again, it's like I didn't even know that this existed, because I've never noticed, because it's the user experience on Tradeport, in my opinion, is not the best. It's okay for buying NFTs, but for doing any kind of because this is DeFi style, not NFT style now. They should have a much more intuitive experience for doing this.
From what I gathered is they were like kind of pushed into making this an option, because they were saying like we have it, we have the code, we can make it work. So they were like, okay, if it's what you guys want. They seemed reluctant at first, and I guess maybe they know more than the people asking for it did. But
it's just the way they design the way it looks, right, and how to use it. Like even from here, I have no idea.
I've never even actually looked at it. I've seen the option pop up, but I never went and looked at it, because
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Could be something if they make it easier to use or to
Yeah, it
understand.
probably needs improvements. It's definitely only like a month old at the most, I believe.
So how many
and Boom-
how many NFTs have liquefied? How can you see a whole list of all the NFTs that have liquefied? How to do that?
I honestly don't know. I haven't even looked at it yet.
Oh, here we go. There are 4. No, there's only 4 that are shown actually. So that means that like possibly the boombots they haven't even added to the list.
Yeah, the Boombots one just happened.
Okay,
Like
so
within the
there's
last, they were within the last week. And then the
XP,
Misty City.
which is for oh man, also yeah, they don't even say what the project which because they have XP, Paper, Mystic, and Bone. So Mystic is for Yeti, but they don't say on the DeFi page what the NFT collection is that you have to liquefy to get the.
Oh, Bones is on there, so that's probably the
I have no idea.
the green and pink.
Oh, that's Puggies. Okay, Bone is Puggies.
Oh, okay.
Mystic is Lofi's Mystic Yetis. Paper is Toilet Dust. Paper, okay. Volume 18 Sui volume. Awesome.
Huge.
Huge. And XP
And
XP is Boombots. Okay, so Boombots are the 4th one. Okay. Should I'm just looking at it now. Should I liquefy something? Let's see if it works. What'd I do? How'd I do
yeah,
it?
do it. Test it out.
I don't know what to do. I can't figure it out. There's no button to liquefy. There should be a big button that says liquefy, right?
That's what I'm talking about. Big, sexy buttons
Yeah.
for normal people.
Yeah. Man.
I'm gonna try and contact Paste or the Boombots dev, see if maybe they can hop on. Maybe they just need a reminder that we're here.
Yeah. Possibly. Oh, Sui's dipping more. 147.
47?
Yeah. I told
Wow.
like my prediction is 60 cents. About 10 months from now will be 60 cents Sui. Is my
Yeah, hey.
yeah, I think that's a fair bear market price for Sui. I mean, Solana went down to what, $25 in the last bear market. I mean, we need some big hack across something to happen for that to happen, though. You know, these black swan events, but generally they happen quite a lot in the bear market. So, I mean, they happened in the bull market as well. Like Cetus's exploit happened. So, we just need something like that, and then we'll get the real juicy price on Sui. I mean, at the moment,
there we go.
Yeah, at the moment, I just have my eye on getting the best price on Sui because definitely it's not going anywhere, you know.
That's what we were talking about before you joined, is that Sui's not going anywhere. They're building the future of the internet. And when it was at $5, I would be like super happy to buy it at $1, but we just gotta just stick with it and accumulate at some good low prices, and then we'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 70 cents in July of 2024, so that was only like just a little more than a year ago. Was 70 cents. So,
yeah,
it's definitely it's low enough market cap and per coin, the price per coin, that you could get 5x, even 10x on your money, and it still wouldn't even be a ridiculous.
Yeah, the danger with Sui is that we had support, like long-term support, back in 2024 April. We had a $1.80, $1.90 support level, and then there's a bottom there of 159. But we're breaking through that, so which is very bad news because we've broken through that, and that means the next support for Sui is 70 cents. Small one at $1.03. So it's because it went up so fast and now it's coming down so fast. Like it didn't have enough time to set up these kind of support levels that people give its market value at. So because it doesn't have a set market value that people kind of have in their mind, that means that it can be sold off quite fast. So we might see continued selling into the next few months on Sui, which is why Yeah, which is why I've been pushing for people to pair Sui Trump with USDC. It's
That's
important.
smart.
Yeah, well, it's important because the more Sui Trump we have paired with USDC, that means the more we can separate ourselves from the price performance of Sui, which it's not looking good for Sui right at the moment. I mean, we've been basically dipping since July. It's been July $3.78, and since July we've continued. It's been 6 months of blood for all projects tied to Sui, right? If you look at what's been going on with Swarm Network, which is very interesting because they're not tied to Sui, they're paired only with USDC in terms of DeFi. Their monthly chart, they're up. On the month, they're up 151%.
Yeah, they're kicking butt.
Yeah,
it's awesome to see that.
Well,
it's always the only green chart. It's the only green chart on my watch list.
It pumps when everything else goes down. Interestingly, which is quite strange. But
I know we've had some big token unlocks on Sui recently as well. Sui is finite, which is great, but I know that there is still some vesting and some big unlocks to come as well. So that's something that concerns me a little bit. But at the end of the day, it is a finite supply.
That's already priced in because the biggest unlocks already happened, and they're also with their new stablecoin, the USD Sui or USDC Sui, something like that. They're actually going to be buying and burning more coins than are going to be unlocking, and
that's good news.
It's like they're constantly having to, like defud the unlocks because they're already priced in, and the biggest ones already happened. I'll put some of these charts that kind of show everything, that shows all the bullish aspects of the network besides the price of the chart. It's still topping in active wallets, new wallets created, number one in DEX volume. That's surprising, and which is a good sign for Sui DEX. Sui's number one in DEX volume over all the other ones. It was number one spot. There may have been specific type. I'd have to read it again because I don't see it being more than like Solana has a total volume, but possibly. But I think it might have been per in ratio to it. I'll have to check it out right now, but I'll put this on the Jumbotron after I post them.
Was reading some interesting things about what Sonic has been doing and possibly what is the game that all these chains have been doing. They linked Sonic's USDC balance to a wallet, a series of hot wallets which exist on Binance, which send in hundreds of millions of USDC into a chain. They hold it there for a couple days so they can get the screenshot, and then they start slowly extracting the USDC back out to the hot wallet and then moving it to the next chain where they hold it there for a couple days and then start pulling it out slowly over, say, a month. So then that chain is allowed then to say, oh, look, we have $500 million worth of USDC on chain. USDC is rising on our chain. You should come here. Which is fraud, basically. But it looks like there's a lot of money to be made from whoever is holding this large amount of USDC to just kind of pretend that the chain is acquiring it all. Don't know.
Yeah, that is
a fun game.
That is one of the metrics that Sui has one of the top scores on, is the amount of new stablecoin influx.
Yeah, but they could be doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's another reason why they made native. They made the USD Sui.
Yeah,
like a super native Sui. It's not just like the USDC on Sui. It's like an actual coin called the USD Sui.
Do you know what it's backed by?
I'd have to look more into it. I haven't gone deep diving into it yet because I just recently got the name because I kept forgetting if it was Sui USDC, but it's USD Sui.
Yeah.
So I can check it out. But on Tradeport too, you were talking about the liquid NFTs, but also look at the trading volume on even the number one NFTs. Potato Heroes volume is down by 66%.
Yeah.
Um,
Time to
so
buy.
it's,
I think for Potato, it's time to buy up.
yeah, because
Extremely bullish on it.
you pay in Sui too, so you're paying like per Sui, not, you know, I mean, they still price it, you know, based on how much it's worth, but to me, it seems less. It's better that way because you don't see it in dollars. But yeah, I agree. The Potato Finance team, they're top notch. I talked to Amy from Cetus. She met them in person, said they're a great team. They did provide an app with no ads that track your wallets for a single portfolio view. That didn't even require signing. They offered it for free for everybody for more than like 8 months before they considered doing anything with these NFTs. And the land tiles were a huge success. They still are. It's part of a bigger game that hasn't even started yet. So then they added, because people are like, well, we want to play, but we kind of feel like we missed out on the land tiles. It's too late now. So that's why they made the heroes, because you can participate in the game without owning land. That's why people can get heroes and pledge themselves to a land, which I recommend pledging your heroes to Richie, because he has better buffs than probably most people you know. All 8 of my heroes are patrolling on his behalf, because I'm earning influence. I'm trying to max influence since I don't have a land that supplies anything really. But I do have. I'm like,
Do you have an epic sword or something like that, like a fiery epic sword?
That's the thing. That can be profitable because whales love this game, and the rarity that has nothing to do with the in-game mechanics, because it was called a Phoenix sheath on my sword, and the character looked pretty badass. Like I was kind of sad to sell it, but I'm like, okay, there's no in-game benefits. It's just cosmetic. It's only more valuable in Tradeport because of what it looks like. It's a rare NFT, but in the game, all the same character type, because there's like druids, like knights. There's like 5 types. They all start off at the same level. It doesn't matter if it's a rare one on Tradeport or if it's a common one on Tradeport. They're all the same, and they have to be built up through in-game experience. So as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh yeah, I'm selling it for sure. I got 100 SUI for it. I paid 5 SUI for it because I was part of the.
That's pretty cool. That's good for the balance of the game.
First whitelist was 5 SUI, then it was 6, then 7, and then public was 8. And they sold 30,000 in 1 hour.
So for patrolling on my land, I think people need to wait for it to be really worthwhile. I think wait about 1 week, because I need to get this tool. What's it called? Runic Resonator. Because
that's expensive.
Well, without it though, you're not ever going to, because the whole benefit of people patrolling on your land is that the landowner is going to find the URR, so you can find fairy dust, chrono seed, and barrier shard by patrolling, right? But you need to hold this tool to increase your chance. So at the moment, I've got a 0.2% chance, which is basically nothing. But to get the tool, you need 25 gold, 25 iron, 10 crystal, which is not that much actually anymore. So 10 crystal is $20, so that's fine. But then you need this Dawnstone and titanium splinter, which can only be
10 crystals, $20. Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
that's
the prices have collapsed, man.
Well, because there's whole crystals, but there's also like crystal shards or whatever, I think.
But to find these Dawnstone and titanium splinter, you need to have a magic siphon. So I got a magic siphon, which increases your No, not a magic specimen. You need the idol of Axomama, but you need a very rare one because so many people have them.
Oh, that reminds me. I did
Or you could
instead
just
of
buy
doing
them, I
a
guess.
instead of doing a deep dive like by using a agent, I actually did a direct scrape of the documents page and then had it do a strategic guide based on that, and it's way better, way more comprehensive. I
Yeah.
gotta show you guys because the one I did with the agent, like it's not really that useful, but this one got every single page available of information and made a guide based on that. I just got ready, so that actually has some useful strategy to it. Plus, I don't know if anyone else has heard the hype. Gemini from Google, their 3.1 Pro. It wasn't just some, model upgrade. It is an absolute titan. Like they crushed all other benchmarks on things that not even close on. And I'm pretty well versed in these AI large language models. I only use GPT, Grok, and Gemini. And Gemini only as of recently because it used to be the worst. But with their recent Pro 3.0 upgrade that was just 2 days ago, it is scary good. Really good. I was able to just make a Minecraft game just by saying, make me your own a playable version of Minecraft in an HTML file. And in 30 seconds, it made its own game. It was playable as a preview in the Gemini HTML window. I actually made a video of it. Pretty insane. And GPT 5.0 can do that too, but not as consistent, not as complex. So these things are getting exponentially smart with their video creation, image creation, and now it's like vibe coding. You can literally make any app you want, and it's has this capability to control its agents by using its large language model as like the instructor. So they've reached like the closest form of almost AGI than any other large language model. It's pretty interesting to see. And then they have Nano Banana. If you want to create a spot on exact replica consistency image of a character, or for me, like the Stewie Network water drop, it'll absolutely nail it. And anyone that makes images, that getting that water drop with the line in the middle is always one of the most hardest things to do. Nano Banana will paint it anywhere you want as long as you upload it as a reference image, and that's really helpful on that end.
You were able to play the little Minecraft game in the preview?
Yeah, I have a video.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. You can even create like 3D games. I mean, I know Minecraft is 3D too, but I mean like in space. You can create like literally like anything you can imagine.
Leisure Suit Larry.
It'll there's people that were creating a Windows 11 desktop that actually functions where they can open it and Microsoft Word works. And it's not the same exact thing, but it does function. It looks the same, it works. And they were making like Space Invaders game, Snake, of course, that's pretty basic, but they also had like a universe simulator, and the orbits of the planets, you could zoom in, zoom out, and literally they're making these apps just by saying make a Minecraft like app in an HTML isolated file, just one sentence, and it's done in like 20 seconds. It's
wild.
And I'm thinking there's going to be some apps that will be helpful that we can use that I'll be able to make just by doing that. Like it's pretty cool. I would check out YouTube videos of it because it's kind of hard to explain audibly.
Speaking of little games, Ricky, what about the spinny wheel game? That's coming up soon.
Yep. We're launching it today. The way it's going to work is that it's going to take all buys and sells of. Sorry, no. Let me get focused. Not enough coffee this morning. The way it works is we want to push some buy pressure on Victory. So the best way to push buy pressure on Victory is also for people to earn with Victory, right? So if you come to farm.suidex.org, we're going to be running a bot. The bot is going to pick up any deposits into the Sui Victory or USDC Victory pools. These will then be triggered in the Telegram group. So the bot's ready. We were testing it yesterday. I just need to make some pictures for it to make it look nice. And what will happen is, for example, say John deposits into the USDC Victory pool, which is the pool I would suggest going into because of course, market volatility. USDC is the moment a much better asset for holding the value of your purchase, right? For now. So say John goes into USDC Victory, deposits in $100. Inside our Telegram group, the bot will fire and say $100 deposited by this wallet. It will then be added to a leaderboard. This is going to run for 1 week. So we will announce today when we start it. It will be a 1-week competition. And the top 5 highest deposits into either the USDC Victory or the Sui Victory pool are going to win prizes. I might add in some additional prizes for other people who are taking part in the competition as well. And the prizes are going to range from Victory. We're going to have some Sui Trump prizes and a little bit of stablecoin prizes as well for people as well, to encourage people to try out Sui Farm, Sui Dex, see what is going on with what we're building, bring in some more buy pressure for Victory. Of course, the more people that buy Victory to take part in the competition, the higher the price goes, the higher the APR goes, and then the more people will come into the platform as well, because high APR always attracts eyes, basically. So it will run for 7 days. A big question people have is, what if I deposit $100 and then the next day I decide I'm going to deposit another $50? Does that accumulate? Yes. So it's a per wallet score on your deposits. So if you deposit $100, then $50, then $50, then you would have a score of 200 points, right? And the dollar value is on the time of your deposit, not on the it's not on the market movement of your deposit. So whatever time you deposit in at, that's when you get the that's what you get noted down as your points. But that's pretty much it. We wanted to launch, well, I wanted to launch another one, which was a kind of different one. It was putting, when you deposit into the farm, you get a spinning wheel option, which will be coming, but I had to pivot on that because the team are really stressed right now trying to get the indexer up. And then I was saying, nah, we need to get these games up because, the market's not looking the best. You guys are taking too long with the indexer. You need to get the game made. And then I realized,
Ricky,
hang on a
that
minute.
reminds me, that's one thing that the Gemini 3, Gemini Pro 3.0, it's like, give me the what you want, like the game, and show me like, okay, it's on move. It could literally like just make that whole thing by itself. And if you showed it like the source code, it could like redo the whole entire structure and optimize it and fix any errors. It's
Yeah, but I don't want my dance just using AI all the time.
Well, just for the wheel, just for the spinner game, like to design the mechanics of the wheel and stuff.
Yeah, possibly.
Like,
I mean, I gave them the project brief for it about a week and a half ago, but they said they can't get round to it because the idea for indexing is so complex. So I just had to make a pivot on it, because instead of trying, telling them to put down their tools, walk over to the next project and then start working on this thing, and then go back to the thing they're working on, it just wasn't. It's not a good way to manage them.
Yeah, that's good. So you got them full bore, full speed ahead on the indexing and just keeping them on that job site till that's completed, and then we can worry about spinny games.
Yeah, exactly. So in the meantime,
index is really important.
And last night I just spent some time with the contract developer who made the move code, because he's a different guy to the UI guy. We have a backend guy, 2 backend guys, one front end guy and one Move developer guy. So he's called Moshin. So I just sat with him yesterday and we made the bot for just making a quick fun game in the Telegram, run it for a week. Hopefully after that week, then they're finished with their indexing jobs. Then we can get some spinny wheels and some trading competitions, all kinds of things. What I'm thinking is, to be honest, because the market is quite terrible, people want and need to have fun with prizes. So the way we designed the mission actually for SUIDEX is kind of, it's designed in this way. So if I'm bringing up the emission breakdown here, you can see that from the complete allocation of victory token, 55% of the victory token is for emission, right? Which is going to come out over 3 years. So that's just over half of the supply is for emission. So that might make you think, where's the rest going? So we've held aside a lot of the victory coin for things like the prizes for the bot competition that we're launching today. We've held it for that spinning wheel competition, for trading competitions. In essence, you can see the APR available for the farm pools. But what I want to move it into now is essentially gamified or gamblified yield farming, where when you deposit into different pools, you have chances to win larger prizes. Because we're holding a considerable amount of the total emission is not feeding into the farm by design. It's like boosting yield through gambling.
That's how it is now. That even the slush wallet has its own native gambling application.
Gambling does really well in bear markets.
Yeah, and Adani, he's also a big fan of casinos. Anything more SUI. So that's another ammo I have when I finally get a hold of him. Like, hey, we got gambling mechanics, we got lockers to pay out in SUI, we got spinning wheels competitions,
prediction markets.
Yeah, he's
possibly.
Oh, yeah, SUI Network already has a prediction market running right now. I was waiting on Talus to be done with theirs with Swarm Network, but there's actually another one like Kachi, something like this.
Kachi.
It's already running, like Polymarket, So there is so much stuff happening. It's kind of weird to see all this innovation and new protocols, and I just saw today. I already knew Costas was having that breakthrough on the quantum resistant technology, but he really actually revealed how it works and everything, I believe, just within the last 24 hours. And then Misty SETI version 2, which went from 400 milliseconds to 300 milliseconds, that was just within the last couple of weeks. So the developers are nonstop.
Is that transaction time?
Yeah, finality. If it's from you, like a single address to another address, just nothing complex, it's 300 milliseconds now. So and they plan on making it even faster still. And that's already instantaneous, because that's what agents need to be able to function at their peak performance. Because Solana finality speed can be up to 11 seconds. I didn't know that. I thought it was 3 or 4 seconds, but I mean, unless they're just kind of purposely giving edge cases about how long, what's the longest possible finality speed for Solana. But they said it was 11 seconds, and SUI is the fastest. Besides, I've heard ones that say they have zero, instantaneous, no waiting on finality, but it's not processing things the same way that SUI Network or other regular chains process things. They say it's instantaneous because there really isn't any extra step, I guess. Maybe you know more about that, Richie. I'm not sure. I think maybe ICP or something.
I don't know. At the moment, from my experience, it's just as you get into this low liquidity situations, the more gamified you can make things, the more people are interested. I'm staying quite clear-minded on it. It's if I want people to try and find SUIDEX and enjoy it, we make simplified, fun, clicking games where you can get a prize and be like, hey, got a prize, nice. And just that builds community, then means that we can basically huddle together like penguins and get through the bear market. Because there is always great DeFi opportunities in bear markets that a lot of people fade out and they just kind of drop out and they give up on crypto. And that's when you get less of these, the ones who want to try exploit or dump or, selfishly join DeFi, they generally leave at that kind of time. And then there is a lot better earning opportunities if you're in the right projects with the right builders, essentially.
You gotta have those shiny prizes to shake in front of their face. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I won.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, the opportunity, like the thing for the wheel is I'm really bullish on building this wheel because I was also having a discussion with the team because they want to do this trading competition, which is great. It's good for the decks. The more you buy and trade tokens on Sui decks, you get points and then you get prizes, right? Which is great. But I was trying to explain that that's really good for a new target market of people to bring into Sui decks. But at the moment, the people that we have in Sui decks right now, that's not necessarily something that they're interested in. They like
it's got to be visual.
They like visual, easy to understand, easy to compete games. Like the raffle bot I made for Sui Trump, right? It was extremely popular, still is, because of the ease of use of it and just the fact that you can endorse and share, and like that community aspect is really important. So I pushed them extremely hard to stop trying to focus on making this really complex system I made for them it's called Volume Rush. So it will be coming out, but it's very complex. So the idea is that it's going to be based around, again, Victory Sui, Victory USDC to start. And you need to trade a minimum of $5. For every dollar you trade, you get 1 point. You have a daily cap of 20,000 points. So in case, whales start just wash trading hundreds of thousands and destroy everyone. You get a daily streak multiplier, so you can sign a check-in box similar to what Potato had, where you just sign into the Sui decks, click the thing, and then you get a multiplier on your points. You get daily streak bonuses from 1x to 1.48x if you go all the way through to the end. You get multipliers if you buy Victory. If you buy Victory and hold Victory, you get further multipliers. So it's very really complex. It's to make it fair.
Have you ever thought about just doing it kind of like how Potato does it, where you get XP points for all kinds of different things you can do?
No,
like
because
sharing,
that was
like posting.
Yeah, but that was really messy, right? Like by the end of it, no one knew what the XP points were and how they accumulated into the prizes. And
well, they do now because they're getting airdrops of Tato. I have so many different coins from Potato Finance that I got out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I got a lot of stuff because I've been using them for so long.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't really like how they did their final allocation. It seemed really confusing.
I didn't like
I wasn't really paying attention
riddles.
But I don't want to say didn't like, because actually I didn't really know they were having an airdrop, to be honest, until the game. I had no idea. But when I tried to look into, what was the eligibility and what were the criteria, I still couldn't figure it out. So I don't know.
Well, I think they purposely didn't, say exactly what it was, because then people will exploit it. They're just like, it's a combined collective of your XP, because it's not just your XP. It's also like, did you participate? Are you actually trading? Have you verified the wallets that are in your combined portfolio? What's your activity like on X? They track your activity on the Telegram bot. A lot of different factors went into it, but they didn't want to list what it was exactly, because then people would just go do exactly that and try and beat the system.
And where do you see the airdrop?
Oh, so you go to the regular Potato app.
Yeah.
And then go to airdrops.
Yeah.
And they show their own airdrop. So you got to scroll down. It's like at the top of the bottom section.
Yeah.
And then you can see if you're eligible.
Oh, fine.
Because you can get them after 30 days, but you can also get them after just 15 days if you get it in Tato. Which
I got 18,000 Tatos.
Wow. That's really good, actually. It's pretty good.
How much is that worth? Let's find out. Tetes.
Well, I mean, I only am getting on one address, like I think 9,000. So
18,000 is worth 200 bucks. Not bad. Not bad for not knowing about it.
Pretty good.
yeah,
Basically. Yeah. Thank you, Tato. But yeah, like that's what I mean though. Like we could continue to make the competition, the trading competition, more and more complex and confusing. But that means it's going to take longer to build. Because definitely what I've noticed with this team is they can get the job done safely, but not really. I wouldn't really say speed is on their side for rollouts.
well, for me, I would say if it's complex on our end, but still simple to the people playing it, that's good. But you don't want to overcomplicate it for the user, or else they might
exactly
not do it.
Exactamungo. Yeah. But anyway, so today we'll be in about 12 hours, I think. Evening for me, morning for other people. We'll start this competition for essentially stake. So you need to get into the Suidex Telegram, where you'll see the bot running. And then you'll be able to see the leaderboard. And then I'll also announce the prizes before we begin. So you can consider for your consideration, if you want to join the competition, you can see what kind of juicy prizes we have going to top 5. I think I'll do a random draw as well for everyone who takes part, just to try and, 'cause I don't like it when people lose, but not everyone can win. That's not really how
With
it
us,
works.
they do. Everyone wins with us.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah.
we do is win.
Yeah, we're just winning. We're winning on Sui today, $1.47. We're winning.
You only lose if you sell it. It's the chart. The price doesn't matter. What you should count is how many actual Sui coins you have. As long as that keeps going up, you're winning.
True. Or how many you can buy with the USDC you've
Yeah,
pulled away.
it's like, it's all about perspective.
That's the other thing, because I was complaining before I came on the stream as well, because I took profit on BTC. I took a couple times. I managed to take first profit take was 125 actually, because my sell points were 125, 150, 175,000 was when I wanted to sell all the Bitcoin that I wanted to lock in this market. But I got the 125 sale in, but then when it retraced back to 110, 18, I think, is then when I sold another portion of it, because I thought that I had the gut feeling that was it for this cycle, or at least until next year. So I then had this USDC and I was thinking, what can I do with this USDC? So this is really annoying, right? Because we're in DeFi. The whole idea is that we should be able to take our USDC and earn more on our USDC than we should be able to earn in the bank with our fiat, right? With our dollars, Canadian dollars, or pounds or euros, right? So the moment if I put USDC into Aave, I can get 3.63% APY, right? Which is less than I can get in HSBC Bank, for example. If I go to Navi on Sui and I lend it into Navi, I can get 7.9% APR, which is not bad, but not incredible for what we come to expect from DeFi. What DeFi is supposed to give us, right? Better yield. If we go to VFAT tools, and that's just simple stake. You stake it in to offer collateral, and then you don't borrow on it, and you'll just continue to compound your earning 7%, 3%, these kind of things. I came to Aerodrome and went through VFAT tools to try and do concentrate liquidity farming with USDT and USDC. It said I was going to get 30%, but in the end, I'm getting 0 because they keep going out of range continuously. You need to squeeze the range so tight on stable coins that they're rarely ever in range. If you try go to a range that is wide enough to keep them in range, then your APR actually drops down to about 0.5%, which doesn't really even make it worth doing it, right? You're not going to, with $1 million at 0.5% APR, you're not beating inflation. I mean, to be honest, on Aave, with 3% APR on your 3% APY on your USDC, you're not beating inflation. Inflation's beating you with that. You could be in Aave for a year and you're actually going to come out with less money because of inflation, right?
Well, I put mine in the SUIDEX, the USDC and USDT
Well,
pair.
that's where I'm going to. Because if you go to SUIDEX and you come to my position, to farms, currently we have the USDC SUI USDT is fixed 50-50, always in range. And the yield currently for that, I think, is around about 90, I think, 90% APR, maybe more. And we also have single staking of USDC as well, which has very high APR, actually. At the moment, our APRs are still loading really slowly, but once we get the indexer, these will be lickety split fast. Thank God. Because it does take.
But either one is like blows all the other ones out of the water. They're not even close.
Yeah, USDC and USDT is currently 83% APR paid in Victory Coin, and the single stake is 95% APR. 4% deposit and withdrawal fee for the single stake. That's to be understood, and 2% for the LP. I'm in the LP. If I go to my position, I put a couple grand in, I think, into the stable pool. Today I've got 4,000 victory coins, so it makes me about $10, right? So $10 a day on roughly $1,200 I'm going in, whereas I've got $13,000 over on Aerodrome trying to yield farm concentrate pools, and I'm making 90 cents a day. I've got $3,000 in Aave trying to lend with it, and I'm making what did I make yesterday? I made 5 cents, something like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say for sure is the SUIDEX. When I go to claim, I'm pretty impressed, because like the amount of total like
29 cents
I have in there are not that much.
Yeah,
and I'm getting like $10 like every couple days.
Yeah, but there is risk because this is incentivized farming. So essentially, we're running on the idea that we're rewarding Victory Coin, right? That's why we're starting these competitions to bring more buy volume to Victory. We need to continue to offer reasons to hold and buy Victory as we mature as a platform, because that's the key to keeping the APRs healthy for everyone who's inside the liquidity system.
That's one thing I was going to ask you right now, is because I'm ready to make another entry, and I'm wondering like what's the best thing to go into to have it be the most healthy for the farm and for Victory.
So I would either,
what I see people have an issue with is you can't just you can't stake more Victory as in its own in the same stake. You have to make another one. You get like too many of them.
The locker, yeah. Well, that's on the list. Soon the UI, once the indexer is done, we're going to have batch claiming on lockers. So they're going to go into it. You can basically claim out everything at the same time, and also look at it in an easier way to understand.
But what about just adding to a stake you already have? Like if you want to stake more,
are you talking about single staking or LP staking?
Single staking, like the Victory lockers.
You can't add to an existing locker because they're all on times, right? Because if you wanted to add to one locker that was already running, but you're going to be adding, because you can either lock for 1 week, 3 months,
so
1 year, or max. So you can't combine them. What I asked them to do is to make, because they're really big boxes, right? For your locks, individual locks have massive boxes. So what I want to do is tell them to minimize the size of them, put it into more of a Excel style, and then it's not such an eyeful to look through them. And all you need really is a claim all, because no one wants to go through, like here on this page I have 5 lockers. I don't want to go down like 5 lockers every day and claim. It's too much. My finger gets tired. I just want one big button that says claim all, right? Claim all my yield. Fantastic. Got it. So that will be coming, and a smaller amount of information to show. For example, combined amount of lock, total amount you can claim, this kind of stuff.
It's little things like that actually make a big difference in people using it, because a lot of people are on cell phones only. That's why I try and go through I try and do it on the cell phone, so I know what other people are going through, and it's definitely going through all your lockers to find like the claims. That
Yeah.
it could be a little tedious, but
Oh, for sure.
they definitely are paying.
For sure. But I'd say that the healthiest thing for the protocol now is building your Victory USDC liquidity pool. That's the healthiest thing. The more liquidity we have with USDC, the more we are protected from the bear market, essentially. When we launched SUIDEX, actually, I put the main amount of liquidity is in USDC with Victory because of that reason, because I had a feeling that SUI was looking extremely weak. So that's why when we paired up liquidity, we went about 75% of the liquidity is in USDC and about 25% was put in with SUI. So we do have quite a nice standing, but the more USDC Victory we can get building up, then the more protected we are from the bear. Same as SUI Trump, every day I'm buying and burning SUI Trump. I think so far we've burnt like 1.2% of the supply, 1.25. I've got another burn to do today. But the more people who are going to pair up their SUI Trump with USDC, the stronger we can protect the price of SUI Trump from the bear market. It's a good thing.
The majority of liquidity for Victory is in stable coin USDC.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job. Good thinking.
That's in the supplied liquidity, but in terms of user supplied liquidity, there is more in SUI Victory. So it's so we need user supplied liquidity as well to be stronger in USDC. Because also I was thinking Shock as well, right? Because we have a large pool, a growing pool. Let me check out AquaShock SUI Trump.
I have a huge, I have like at least 100+ million F Shock in there.
Because the thing is, because I want to push more SUI Trump to be paired with USDC, right? Which would protect the price of SUI Trump from being breaking down with the SUI's movement down. And we have a growing amount. At the moment we have a 261 million Shock and 20 million SUI Trump right in there. So actually I can
nice.
have more.
Well, I want to huddle up like a penguin with you, and you're going to be close to the stable coin. That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, because actually in this wallet I have another one. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 62 million Shock here. So if I take like 50 million, I can put more. 50 million. Too many zeros, man.
Any chance of a Trump Shock farm, or is it
not? It's risky, right? Because I mean, if we keep growing this, then yeah, why not? Like it's just the whole reason I want to do the SUI Trump Shock is because by SUI Trump pairing more with USDC and then SUI Trump pairing more with Shock, it actually helps. They're basically helping each other find support. But possibly like a Shock SUI Trump farm could be very fun. The next one I promised to do was with a tree, but I want the indexer up first because otherwise.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's good to have the indexer up before we add anybody else.
Exactly, right? Because I mean, we could have like amazing liquidity stats for some of these memes, but then no one can fucking see them. So
totally.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but from what I gathered is as soon as the indexer starts working, the market caps of SUI Trump and AquaShock are gonna have an immediate spike. Like
I don't know about that, man. Like I've been looking into it. I was arguing with a couple guys who are smarter than me, and they were saying they don't think so. So I'm not sure.
I think it is, but I don't know. But it's there and it's not being accounted for. So like it's going to get added. Like, is it just going to add it to the bottom end of my liquidity? I'm sitting at like 25 or like 12 liquidity. And if I add another straight 12 liquidity to it, it's got to do something.
Yeah, true.
I think SUI Trump has a lot of LP on CEDAS protocol too. Whereas you have a lower market cap on Shock, and you have probably the majority of your LP is with the SUIDEX, whereas the SUI Trump is in 3 different places.
But the thing is, say right now like I can come to the DEX and I can choose, right, I want to swap SUI Trump into SUI, right, on SUIDEX. Okay. So I want to swap SUI Trump to SUIDEX. And if I want to swap SUI Trump to SUI, right? So we take like 10,000, 100,000, right? We could get 2.34 SUI. If you go over to CETAS and try to swap the same amount of SUI Trump into SUI, it's going to be the same amount, right? Because of arbitrage bots. So what I think has happened is that when we launched the initial pools and liquidity was coming in, of course, there were going to be quite varying prices across SUI DEX and across different other different DEXs on SUI, right? Because of the cross natural, like the aggregated way that DEXs deal in SUI, that meant that SUI DEX was not aggregated. All these other DEXs are aggregated together. It made it really easy for bot makers, arbitrage bot makers, to essentially say, because even though when we launched the tokens on SUI DEX, they were at the current prices for each ratio of asset. For example, SUI Trump to SUI was correct. Shock to SUI was correct. But then say a huge amount of liquidity comes into SUI Trump on launch. What does that do to the price of SUI Trump on SUI DEX? And what does that wouldn't reflect onto CETUS or onto Aftermath because we're not aggregated to them yet. Meaning then a bot maker, malicious arbitrage bot maker could then come in, purchase the SUI DEX, SUI Trump, then go over to an aggregated DEX, sell that and skim profit, then repeat that 100 times. And that just creates this balancing effect, essentially. So what I think that's what one of the developers I was talking to said, that they think that's what happened. Essentially like a mass arbitrage bot fleecing of our initial launch liquidity. You know, like this, which is, we do see like you can see generally arbitrage bots running across all DEXs on SUI continuously. That's why all the prices balance extremely fast. For example, if I went into SUI Trump SUI right now and I bought like $20,000 worth of SUI Trump on SUI DEX, the price on SUI DEX would spike immediately on chain. You would see 10s, 20, 30 bot transactions swapping between the CETUS pool, the Bluefin pool, the Move Pump pool, and the SUI DEX pool to then bring everything back. They profit out, you know, probably $40 to $100 to $200 from it, and then balance it out, essentially.
Wow.
So I think something similar to that happened, is my thinking, but I don't know.
We'll see, because I was watching the buys and sells. There wasn't like
no, there wasn't
crazy. Like it didn't look like there was bot sells or like too many. I don't know. No one knows. We'll see. I think it's going to get added to our bottom lines, and it'll pump us up something. But I don't really know.
But if not, we'll get there anyway, because we don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
We have non-inflationary tokens, right? Like SUI Trump's going down, Shock is the same. I mean, eventually we're going to start burning Shock as well, right? Like, why not? Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Shock's been burning. I'm not sure what the mechanism is, but it has a burn bot, and it's.
We got a little burn bot with our partnership with Boombots, and they've been having some more volume lately. So I've been seeing that pop up in the chat.
It's good.
And then in the future, if we could get some burns going through SweetX, would be pretty awesome too.
Yeah, there's lots of things we can do. It's just about sticking together and building up. Like, you know, that's what like we're all about. That we've never had any drama. There's no,
we're good. We're all bros. Exactly. I think it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise, everything that's happening now. It's going to allow us to accumulate more and build out the products better. And then we'll be like ahead of the game and running by the time it cycles around to the next big bull market.
Possibly.
Oh, absolutely. That is monument. Like this network is so small right now. Those of us that stick to the hype comes back, people are gonna look at us like we're like part of the developer team. Like we're here through the whole thing. Like
I'm rarely wrong, but I'm usually early. And then I think even when I think I'm early, I think I'm like extra early. So I think we're just extra early.
Yeah, it took me like 8 months to realize of being in this network full time, like how actually small and new it is. Like
I've been noticing on X over the year, you know, and you see the same. I think there's maybe 1,000 active SWE posters in the community that we see. Like it's not that big, to be honest. Like I can name probably like almost every active SWE poster now that I've been hanging around.
It's small enough to know like the whole community. Whereas if you go into Solana, it's like there's whole sub factions and whole universes that don't even talk to each other. It's like you see the chaos.
Jeez, so. 85,000 Bitcoin. So when will this end? This chart is disastrous. Oh my god.
Oh, Rich, another thing with CoinGecko, that when I've shown people the chart or like the info part of it, and it shows the original supply was 10 billion.
Yeah.
And with the burns, it actually keeps track and shows that live on CoinGecko.
Yep.
The deflationary mechanism.
Yeah, I had
that's really hype for people to see. Like that's
it's fun
when people can visualize it. It's cool.
Yeah, that was CoinGecko helped me to do that. Actually, they're actually, because once you're verified with them, they're quite responsive. I was very surprised. They got it done in like 8 hours. It's just to get verified is a complete pain in the arse. And that's the other, because
that's interesting. Once you're in kind of thing.
That's the thing for Shock as well, because once we're indexed, then we apply to Gecko Terminal. Then Gecko Terminal understand our DEX, and then from there we apply to CoinGecko, and then we get SUI DEX on CoinGecko, and then even when we're on Gecko Terminal, the trading volume on Shock and liquidity on Shock will appear on Gecko Terminal.
Yeah, that's good, because I'm pretty sure I'm on Gecko Terminal.
Definitely are. Yeah.
That reminds me, there's a Phantom terminal now, Phantom Wallet terminal. I haven't looked.
But they were having trouble. I don't know. It's tough to get in anywhere, but I got to reach out to them again. I'd linked them my DEX screener liquidity. People sometimes have a tough time because with the blue move liquidity that we got, people are like, oh, it's not active or whatever. I'm like, no, it's there. It's locked. Like this liquidity exists, but it's just on blue move. But unfortunately, blue move have kind of gone the way of the dodo, I think. So people are kind of turned off by that a little bit, especially if they haven't been around for super long.
Yeah,
Danny, it's you need to have a buy every 24 hours or it won't show up on the DEX screener. So I've been buying AquaShock daily to keep it like just one.
Yeah, thank you to keep it active on the DEX screener one. I've been doing it through the blue move one to keep that active as well, and that goes to the DEX screener as well.
You got to force it to go through each LP that you have.
Yeah, for sure.
That way it keeps them all visible. Yeah, I definitely take care of Shock as my second child.
Yeah. Let's Donnie, once we get the indexer up, let's we can sit down and figure out some plan for how to get on CoinGecko with Shock. That can be like one of our
cool, buddy. Yeah, that sounds great.
That'd be great,
work together when that comes out. I'm waiting on that. I'm going to do a bunch of bull posting and stuff, and because if we can, I'm excited for that.
Because if you think about it, like it's mutually beneficial. Because of course, if like once we have the indexer, then all the Shock action that's happening on SUDEX will be visible to everyone. And from there,
that's great, and that'll help me with wallets and freaking Slush Wallet and all of that.
But then if we can get you verified on CoinGecko or Slush, CoinGecko would be the best, right? Then it shows not just that your token gets verified and gets more eyes on it, which is great, but also means that look what SUDEX can do. SUDEX can actually help your coin as opposed to just
that's a really good point too. That'll be a good sell for future partners and stuff too.
Yeah, because that's what we want to do. Like we want to, like SUI builders, we want to try and get exposure for actual good projects, not just like this complete trash that continues to pop up everywhere all the time.
Dunny was the first partner. He was the very first airdrop out of all of them.
For SUI builders.
You're right, then you are always early.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. I am. But yeah, I mean, I've buried thousands of tokens, it seems like, that come out and they're the hype token for the week. And I could probably list off a couple hundred that I've seen come and go. But it's kind of a war of attrition and everything's getting compressed together. Like I remember when, Toilet was 300 times the size of me, and now they're maybe like 5 times Pepe. A whole bunch of them. Everyone seems to be squished down into like a little band now, which is good. I've closed the gap that way on people. So it's just about surviving and thriving and war of attrition, and we'll get there.
I felt the same way with Sui Trump, like looking at all these projects that like I used to be envious of, like, oh, look how big they are, and then like 6-7 months later, it's like now we're like towering over them, like number 5. It was
exactly.
Yeah, but everything can fall. I mean, we were 2 million market cap and we fell, but we'll be back. I'm not worried
But
about that.
proportionately wise, we probably had maybe the #1 best performance as far as like
Yeah.
percentage of the drop,
See
because some of them crushed really bad.
yeah. We're holding quite well with the dump, this most recent dump. We're only down 2%, whereas Sui is down
And that's
8%.
directly tied to the buy and burn mechanism, because the lower it gets, the more Sui Trump you can buy.
It's buy and burn, but it's also being tied more with USDC, which means we're not being affected as much by the Sui downturn. But the problem I have at the moment on CoinGecko, we have trading volume of $150. That's because they're not picking up Sui DEX because of that. Because now most people are trading Sui Trump on Sui DEX. They're not using other places, which is good. That's what we want. But it means CoinGecko's not picking it up. DEX Screener's not picking it up. The bastards.
Oh my
The
gosh!
bastards.
Total bastards.
Walls at
fucking
16
bastards.
cents.
Yeah.
Walls at 16 cents. That's crazy.
What? Oh my god.
That's the lowest it's ever been. I mean,
Yeah,
It can go lower.
it can. Yeah.
that's one thing you can make a killing. Like when hype comes back, Wall's probably going to perform better than Sui, because this price is wild. It's been up to 78 cents.
Sonic down to 11 cents. I sold all my Sonic. I gave up on it. That's it. I just went and bridged it.
Not Richard Hart.
No, that's Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is complete.
Okay.
That's I sacrificed to that ProveX though, but Pulse Chain is all-time low, all-time low.
Yeah, see, I always get those two mixed up. So Richard Hart is Pulse.
Hex, Pulse X, Incentive. He has 4 core coins. They're called the Hart's Law ecosystem. They're all on Pulse Chain, and now he will soon have ProveX as well, which will be coming soon.
Yeah, I hadn't finished that movie yet.
Yeah,
Well, it played, but I wasn't like really paying attention to it. But that guy is quite a character. It's hilarious.
yeah. Danny, I
There's
can
a movie on him.
I can send it to you if you want, Danny. It's the Richard Hart Paul Hex movie.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that. I remember Hex token, or is it a chain or a token?
Hex was on Ethereum, and then he made his own blockchain.
Right.
I'll send it. I'll forward it to you right now, because once it's already inside the Telegram's system, you don't even have to wait. It's like instantaneous.
Let me send you that. Yeah, I'm gonna send you that. It's
Nice, thank you.
like 1.7 gigs, but the movie's great. It's documenting 2021, which was the height of the last bull market, when Hex was 10,000x up, and he was just announcing his sacrifice phase for Pulse Chain, and all these people turning up to these in real life events with like 500, 1,000 people. Richard Hart on a stage, like just wooing everyone, like BitConnect basically. And then, I mean, the trailer is brilliant. It begins with, "Hi, my name's Richard Hart, and I've got the biggest dick in DeFi."
Okay, he sounds like a character. I'd like to watch that for sure.
It's just, but I was showing Furley on YouTube, because Richard Hart also he used to live stream a lot, so he has all his live streams up. Like he has some really, really great debates with well-known people inside of modern cryptocurrency or inside of traditional DeFi as well. So you can find quite a few of them.
I'd like to see that.
Richard Hart goes one-on-one with Peter Schiff. That's quite interesting. So it's gold versus Bitcoin and Hex, which is quite an interesting one.
And if there's any YouTube videos, I can take those and get them transcribed and summarized in like 10 seconds. Because it's hard to watch a 2 or 3 hour video, but you can still get the funniest parts and the whole transcript.
Yeah.
Using Gemini Pro.
There's one from 6 years ago, which is really good. It's called "Craig Wright Tells Richard Hart He is Satoshi." So it's just this guy trying to run a scam in one of these expo events. So Craig Wright's on stage trying to tell everyone that he's Satoshi, and then Richard Hart's in the crowd with the microphone and just completely destroys him. He starts asking him about the white paper, the execs of Bitcoin. Because he is a very high IQ individual. Like he's one of these talented people who can just essentially read something and just stays in their brain. And he
Right.
can just repeat whatever.
Asking about the intricacies of it, and the guy's trying to improv bullshit on stage.
Yeah, and then he can't get the words out. He's like, "How if you create Bitcoin, if you're Satoshi, why don't you know this, man? What's wrong with you?" Like, and then he just walks off stage.
Oh, awesome! I'll watch that one too.
Yeah,
That's sick. Well, that's cool, boys. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here real quick if that's cool with you.
yeah, me too. Probably gonna head.
How's the family and everyone's good?
He kind of reminds me of the John McAfee guy.
Yeah,
I like John McAfee.
Yeah.
He's absolutely basic.
Pretty similar.
Family's good. Kids are good.
yeah.
Awesome.
He's got a day off today for some reason, so he's playing Pokemon. He's quite happy.
Hey,
Okay.
check out Dunny's recent video. He's got some hot chicken in the sauna with some.
Oh yeah, we went for a sweet sauna.
Nice.
It was based. Yeah,
nice.
it was a good time. Came and visited me out in the beach. Yeah, it's pretty nice up here for sure. All right, boys. Well, I love you both.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be here. We're gonna come out on the other end stronger than ever and be very influential with a good reputation in this network. That's gonna be very important.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys later.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna split too.
Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.